Keaton, do something cool. Welcome to today's episode of Word of the Day Toilet Paper. I'm one half of your hosts, being Asa, and the other one's playing the piano at the moment.
Hello.
That would be Keaton. Now, today's word of the day of this toilet paper. We've gone to the bathroom a few times and found the toilet sheet that is going to be the one for today. And it is craft. The word of the day is craft, an activity involving skill in making things by hand. Alternatively, a skill used in deceiving others. And then extra super alternatively, the verb form of craft, like making something. Exercise skill in making something. Now, I hope you listen to our craft today, and we appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Thank you very much. Love that. Love resolution chords that don't resolve. I wanted to scoot my chair in closer, because, I wanted to be somewhat closer to the... I don't even want to say microphone. It's glorifying it too much. Just literally an iPad on top of the piano.
No, don't tell them the secrets.
Shh, well, don't say anything.
We have very grand technology.
Yes.
Anyway, continue.
Everywhere in here is it's a crystal piano, $200,000.
Yeah, it's the Elton John piano, actually. It's the one that he set on fire.
That's really cool.
It still works.
We just have the remnants of it.
We reconstructed it in our spare time.
I'm glad. With his help, actually.
He
was there.
Actually, he's in the room with us.
Hey, Elton John.
He's asleep right now.
Oh, you're right. I was just going to be
don't wake him.
Don't wake him up. You promise you won't. I was going to try. I forgot what he sounds like.
He's a little bit sleepy right now.
It's all right. There, Elton John.
Bunny.
I love the idea of people snoring like that, like famous artists and how they sleep. Benny and the Jets. All right. As he was a master in his craft, Elton John, so aren't we. We're totally masters at this. But anyway, I wanted to keep scooting my chair.
Our craft of podcasting?
Of podcasting and
yes.
pianoing and improvised comedy.
Yes.
Yes, very good at what we do.
Yes.
Masters, virtuosic perhaps.
I would say so.
That's what I'm here to study anyway. Here to actually be good at it.
I don't know why, but the first thing that came to my mind with craft was the mac and cheese. Maybe that's telling.
That's so funny. It's kind of like, I kind of got the same vibe, but instead of the mac and cheese that you eat, it was like the mac and cheese that you glue to a piece of paper and make mac and cheese art out of.
Oh, yeah.
Not mac and cheese, sorry. Just macaroni art.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese art would be substantially more difficult to glue on a piece of paper. And I don't think Mom and Dad would appreciate having that on the fridge. Arts and crafts, that's where my brain went. Was good old childhood arts and crafts.
I actually have a story this time.
No way!
Holy cow.
And that's crazy because we literally came up with the word on the way here.
Actually, it was on the way to get the double-decker fudge round.
It was, which we will talk about later. Believe you me.
I'm not happy.
Arts and crafts.
I am displeased, in fact.
Displeased. Such harsh verbiage.
So, whenever I was in, I think kindergarten, I did art club for a while, and we had to make aprons.
Wow, okay.
Well,
we didn't strong in kindergarten.
We didn't sew the aprons together.
That's where my brain went.
we got the aprons, and then we got our stupid little paint, and we painted our names on them. But it recently resurfaced in my house.
Interesting.
And it actually has resurfaced a number of times because my grandma got it, and then she passed away, and my mom got it, and my mom was going out to burn it.
What could you have possibly put on there that warranted?
Well, it was kind of a piece of junk, and my mom's not particularly sentimental. And she was going to go out to burn it, and I didn't really care. But my dad saw it in the ashes of the burn barrel.
No!
By the way, we have a burn barrel.
Yeah, I have one of those too. My family, not me personally, but my family
It's
does.
in my room, actually.
I take it with me everywhere I go. It's my emotional support
leash.
burn barrel. On a leash is crazy.
Anyway, he dug it out of the ashes, so now it's covered in ashes. And he was like, I'm not throwing this away.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
And
That's sentimental.
It's like one of those aprons, it's barely, my name spelled wrong, and it's supposed to say art class down there, but it says Archibald or something.
Archibald!
You can't tell what it says.
That's really Keetan. I I find it really funny that kids like know how to spell their name. Like, is that weird? I
No.
don't think they write it down that often or like see it written down that often.
I think they do it all the time.
I don't know. I didn't
That's
really.
like, really? Well, your name's pretty easy. But
That's fair. It is symmetrical.
there is 2 different letters.
There is
there is 3 in total.
Hey, yeah, there's 3. I had to write a capital A and a lowercase a, okay?
Okay. I take it back.
Speaking of arts and crafts, I say that even though I had on my wall, I guess not my wall, taped on my door, the, like, me practicing writing my name, like 100 times, like, on this piece of paper, just in random places whenever I wanted to. I wasn't even told to do that. I just decided I wanted to.
Yeah, well, it's the first thing, like, kids really grasp onto. I'm not entirely sure why, but kids really grasp onto their name once they learn it. And, like, I've got, like, cousins and... Sorry,
you're fine.
touch your leg there.
No, you're okay.
I've got cousins and even students of mine will go through and it's just like, this is my name, and then write it down like 40 million times. Like, wow, that's great.
That's
I
really
knew
cool.
that already. And I have it on my sheet. That's okay.
I did know that, and your parents spelled it out nice on this typed up document I have here. That's really funny. But yeah,
Yours is actually worse than all the other versions I have your name. But thanks for sharing.
I love that's so just like building them up so much where it's like, yeah, that's great. I mean, I have it better in like 17 different forms, but I really appreciate you doing that for me. Thanks. And then I do it like 600 more times just to really crank in that you know their name.
But yeah, kids love to write their name.
Yeah, I guess it just has to do with the fact that they hear it probably all the time, constantly.
Well, that, and I mean, it's them.
It's them.
It's their name. Like, it's something they take ownership of it.
Yeah, one of the few things in the world that belongs to them at that stage of life.
Yeah.
That they don't have to share with a sibling unless your parents are cruel, like George Foreman, who named all 5 of his kids George.
Oh, really?
Except for his daughter, who he named Georgette. So if you didn't know, yes, George Foreman gave birth to George Foreman, George Foreman, George Foreman, George Foreman, and Georgette Foreman.
That's great.
What kind of person do you have to be?
I guess they all just had different middle names.
I hope so.
I really hope so. I guess they're all like, George Henry, come here. George Lewis, come here.
That
George
probably
John.
is exactly how they do it. But like when you're getting full named, there's an instant where everyone in the house is terrified. George! Suspenseful music. Henry? Oh, thank God. Or it's like, George!
Going back to my daily George activities.
Typical things that typical Georges would do.
I'm not your typical George. I'm George Francis.
I'm George Francis. I'm not your typical George either. I'm Georgette! Imagine they all change their name, like, legally, and then they all change it to the same thing.
Like, they do it, like, unbeknownst to the other ones.
Yeah, where it's like, I'm going to change my name to Lewis. And then they all change their name to Lewis and all of their middle names to George. And it's like, why did we do this?
And then the girl changes to Llewellyn or something.
Yeah, like Llewellyn. That'd be so funny. That's such a good skit. That's like an SNL skit, I feel like, waiting to happen. They all confront each other about having the same name. And then they go back into the real world and be like, hey, I changed my name. I'm now Lewis. How'd you know? That'd be so funny. I think one of the leading theories of that is that celebrities name their kids really obscure names like that to protect their actual name from society so that they don't like get mobbed because they're a celebrity kid or something. And I think that's honestly very reasonable.
Like what do you mean?
Like, there was somebody who named their kid Audio Science. That's what they told the media. The media knows that kid's name is Audio Science. That kid's real name could very well be a normal name, you know, like Lewis or something. And that's what they know.
I feel like they could just not tell the media what their name is.
That's very true, but
I'd rather protect my kid.
That's fair, but I think it's easier to give them something to bite onto than to actually say no, because then they keep pressing, as the press does. Yeah. I feel like it's easier to just be like, oh yes, I'm very extravagant and rich. My kid's name is Audio Science.
That was a perfect Paul McCartney impression. I don't know if that's what you were going for.
It was not, but I guess it was. I've only heard him talk. The late Paul McCartney, I suppose.
We're already 10 minutes in.
Look at that. Time flies when
By the way, we know exactly how long we've been talking by how many times the laptop dies.
Every time it's about to go out, it's like, our first 10-minute scratch of the mouse pad. But I've only heard Paul McCartney talk once, like outside, like in modern day Paul McCartney. And it was when he was making There is actually a person out there. I'm not going insane, but it's so far away.
Can we not sit next to the window anymore?
Maybe not. We'll bring blankies in and cover it up.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let's take this.
Brilliant. And put it in there. There will be no one in the world to disturb us.
How do we do this? This is gonna fit.
I think it's maybe if you go in top first.
You're right, actually.
Oh, that's the genius. Hang the jacket from it.
There we go.
Nice. Now undisturbed by the world.
Somebody's gonna walk in here tomorrow and try and figure out why that stands in the window.
I really hope that they're like fully incapable of the critical thought process to get it out of the window.
They're just sitting there.
How is this
possible?
And they like call for help, and maintenance is like, "Who did this? Why am I here?"
They're just sitting there like, no, maintenance also can't figure it out. They're sitting there and like,
By God.
It's like my favorite Simpsons moment of all time is whenever Lisa makes a perpetual motion machine, and Homer goes, "Lisa, in this house we obey the laws of thermodynamics."
That's really funny, especially coming from like Homer Simpson.
But like, I imagine they come in here. It's like, what is this?
I obeyed. Oh my gosh! I deny this is happening. That's so funny. Oh, that's gonna be either a really good story or just completely underwhelming for somebody, or it's just.
I imagine it's probably gonna be in the windowsill. By the way, it's a music stand
that
we shoved in the windowsill to block the window.
Barely fits.
But
I'd say there's 3 inches between the ceiling and that stand, maybe 4.
Yeah, but there's a little ledge that comes right before the stand that blocks it, so I had to go in like head first to put it in. But all in all, it doesn't actually block the window, so we can still see people.
Yeah, like that people right there. The same people. It's the same person.
I can't tell.
You can't. I promise you, I'm not insane.
I can't.
Okay, right there. You see like the silhouette walking across. If I wave.
Yeah, that actually
like,
kind of frightened me.
Because they're just far enough
What are
away.
they wearing?
It looks like just white. Oh no, it's trash bags. I saw them running across earlier. They have trash bags over there.
Why do they have trash bags?
I have no
what
actual
sort of
idea.
life thing is going on over here?
On this campus? How dare you? But I don't know why. They were running past on the way over to here. Mm-hmm. One of them like ran past me it had recently rained, by the way, for context. It had recently rained. One of them ran past me in sandals, and I said, "Please don't die. Don't slip. You have sandals on. It's wet on the ground. You have sandals on. The ground are be wet, dude. Please." I have very bad experiences with running in the rain whilst wearing sandals.
I've never worn sandals.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible. They're really comfortable. I highly recommend them.
I've always been a tennis shoe guy.
Even when you're just like, I guess you really probably don't wear sandals around the house. That's fair. Around here, whenever I'm in the dorms, so I guess whenever I'm here and I want to walk in the hallway to do my laundry, I'm putting sandals on.
I'm also not I don't like to have my dogs out.
That's real. I can respect that.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Socks and sandals.
Oh gosh.
Easiest.
I'm not a fashion person, but even I know.
Okay, I know a guy who does socks and flip-flops, and it's a good...
How do you even do that?
You cram the flip-flop anchor in between your...
It's called a thong. Thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, flip-flops are called thongs.
No!
You didn't know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, they're called thongs, and it's because they go in between your toes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess that's just a term that you can use in anything that goes in between something else.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I guess you learn something new every day.
And just like that, we have a PG-13 rating.
Bless. Gotta be. Hey, you get 1. Everybody gets 1, I think.
It's like the F-bomb in PG-13 movies.
Yeah. You get one for the whole franchise. Use it well.
No, you get it per movie.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know. I just think it'd be funny.
Oh, yeah.
I know Marvel took their big leap recently.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. I think as a kid, I wouldn't have understood it because I was a baby. Didn't like the cursing. I wasn't even like oblivious to it.
There's a point in movies where if they curse too much, I feel like it's a middle schooler cursing for the first time.
I know exactly what you're talking. I'm really, really glad that you bring that up because I thought it was me.
Yeah, it's just like it gets to the point, and there's people like that too.
Oh
yeah. Like, there's people that's like you're a middle schooler who's cursed for the first time because you're in college now,
trying to figure out what's cool. Honestly, yeah, like oh my gosh. What movie recently? There's a holy crap, what's it called? Monologue. There's a monologue at the end of the show, The Fall of the House of Usher, where the sister main character just curses so much, just putting words where they don't need to be, and it's just like, this is not as dramatic as I'm pretty sure you wanted it to be, because it sounds exactly like somebody who just learned to curse.
There's good moments for cursing. Like there's, have you ever watched Mrs. Brown's Boys?
I have not.
Okay. Well, there's some times where the F word it's just a color. Sometimes it can be colorful. Like it can brighten up your day. In terms of musical terms, it's the difference between or going.
Yeah,
like just putting some chromaticism.
Like, I don't know if I like that, but it was funny.
Yeah, like it's just like, ooh, that was slightly unnerving.
But it was very choice.
But it was interesting.
I have to think of a scenario like that now. I know I think the Marvel one is a great example, I think. It was something that had never happened before. It was about a mundane, like, middle of nothing situation. It wasn't in the middle of, like, one of the massive Marvel fights or anything.
It was just a funny little moment.
It was just a funny little moment, and it was like, that was a brilliant decision of word.
And I remember seeing people online, like, they had one F-bomb and they chose to use it here. I think that's hilarious. It was perfect. Like, I think the only other what are you
place...
going to use it, like, you're shooting Thanos or something, and he just goes... Oh, like
yeah, just like oh. I know that. I think the only other time. Have you ever heard of the show Camp?
No.
Do you know what Rooster Teeth is?
No.
That's fair. They're a production company. They had a show called Camp, and it was about. It was just about a camp with a bunch of delinquent kids. The kids cussed all the time. I mean, they were just like, they were voiced by adults, so I guess it was all right. Yeah. But the kids just cussed all the time. The characters cussed all the time. There was one character, though. I think his name was David. I haven't watched it in a very long time. But he was always happy-go-lucky. Nothing ever, like, disturbed him. He never cursed. He, like, never did all that stuff. I think the only time that it's suitable, if you have one, is in a moment like in Camp where it was extremely climactic, and it was like showing the true nature of this character, where like everything isn't easy, everything isn't happy, and he dropped the F-bomb in the middle of the rant, and I was like, that was very good choice of that.
Yeah,
I think that's the only other place to do it.
There's sometimes, and I'm a firm believer in this. If you're gonna use something to be impactful, only leave it out for the rest.
Yes, use it one time.
Yeah, like you get one climactic moment. That's the reason it's called a climactic moment.
Yeah, because it happens once.
You get it once, and if you use it all the time, you're not going to get it. It's like South Park. Yeah, it's funny, but imagine if they didn't drop F-bombs every, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And, like, they saved it for, like, the best moment in every single episode.
It'd be killer.
Yeah.
It'd be really killer. And it's like, honestly, I don't think South Park's trying to be out there winning awards for dramatic writing.
No, I don't.
But it's a good example.
I don't think South Park is the example that we needed to use for that, but it is an example that works.
It is an example that works. Feel free to correct us in the comments below when this is on YouTube.
There was a show, like there was a movie I watched recently that I felt that way about. I can't think of it now.
I'm trying to think of something because I feel like there's
like a
like
movie
something that
I
just
went
keeps...
to the movie theater for. I think it was the Mortal Kombat movie, actually.
Really? I did not know that was out. Huh.
Oh no, it was the one from a couple years ago.
Okay, the other one.
But that one, like, all the characters cursed like constantly, and I was like, I feel like I'm watching a middle schooler.
Yeah, that, and I think Deadpool did that too.
Yeah,
Deadpool did that hardcore, and I think that was
sometimes
satire.
Did it funny in a funny way. This one was more like, this one was for sure like I could just see like 2 middle school kids just playing Mortal Kombat on the TV. It was just like. Like, man, I can't say anything.
We can't say it. Well, you could. We have the stuff to censor it.
Yeah, but then what's the point of that?
I think
they're not going to know what I said anyway.
Maybe not, but they will. They'll hear consecutive amounts of just bam, bam, boom, whomp. If you really want to, we have the power.
Well, we got to save it for the end of the episode.
Oh, so wait, it's got to be climactic.
Yeah,
we get ones. Is it time? Is it that time? Let's see. Let's see. Okay. I gotta take a second to prepare my improvisation.
The word of the day is craft.
It is craft, in case you forgot. It sure is. It definitely hasn't evolved to be so. What exactly do you do in your free time? could it be just chilling around, being a laze, maybe just taking a nap, having a good time, de-stressing by doing nothing? Well, might I introduce to you de-stressing by doing something? Taking up a craft. Be that arts and crafts like the paints and colored pencils that you might think of on first sight, or maybe something like building a violin, doing woodworking, singing. A craft is something that you can use to be better, to have fun, to find love, and to love yourself through it. So, this is out to you, crafts. Without crafts, this thing wouldn't even be possible. So we appreciate you, and we hope that you appreciate crafts. Thank you. Beautiful.
You know, one of these days,
We're
going to have an actual sponsor.
and they're gonna be like, yeah, this is the one. We're doing a deal with this one.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool.
I can't wait for a day that probably won't happen.
You never know. We're doing this for 2 more years. I mean, we're not just
That's
gonna
true.
drop this after this goes.
That's true.
We've got a long time.
We're going to put some effort into this, and
Yeah.
if we get the virtual setup going, there's no stopping us.
Exactly, because we can literally just be like, yeah,
You know,
let's sit
you
down
could
and do
probably
this.
go to like a library or something and do it.
Equally true. Yeah, I've got places I could go if I wanted to do a virtual setup like that, and that'd be totally cool. Especially but if I'm living here on campus where the internet's actually good, or if I'm on a house or something like that, we can actually have
on campus. We wouldn't really need to bother with virtual.
Yeah, well, I mean, not virtual, but like having a setup, more
yeah,
effort
for
and stuff like
for
that.
Sure.
Because these rooms do really nicely. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's the sound dampening that really does help.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great decision to use these rooms. Like the one time that we went and did it.
Yeah.
In the lounge, which will never be aired because
Will never be aired publicly.
Yeah, that's
We'll
true.
we'll probably find an excuse to air it. And if everyone's like, "Grr, put it on public," we'll be like, "Okay."
The episode just ends with, "Hey, can we pause this for a second?"
Oh, it's really funny. And it was like, "Yeah, sure." And then it's done. No more. But you'll find out in some way. I don't really know how we're going to do that. Probably a Patreon.
If we ever get popular enough and we get a Patreon, like
Easy.
boom, boom. What did you think of the sponsorship?
I quite like it. I really like that ending chord. I don't remember what it was, but I really enjoyed it for some reason. Not just the way that it like fit into everything else, but particularly that just the sound of it. Oh,
Yeah.
Beautiful. I always enjoy the sponsored segments. I usually try to work around what I'm saying around what you're playing so that there's like dramatic pauses and stuff like that. I think we do pretty well with it, especially since you're making it up, I'm making it up. It's like a gig if it was 1 minute long and comedy.
And about nothing.
And about literally nothing.
Do you have any stories about craft?
I do. I have one, at least off the top of my head. I'm sure I'll think of more along the time. But I was in probably 3rd grade. No, it was 5th grade. I was completely wrong. It was 5th grade because I remember the teacher that took the picture for me.
I don't remember any of my teachers.
Wow.
It's a weird. We'll get back on that.
Yeah, all right. We will get back on that. There was a craft that we did that was like, it was actually really creative now that I think about it. But we took a picture of us like acting like we were trapped in something. And then they printed it out, laminated it, and put it inside of like a soap dispenser. Like a hand soap dispenser that you'd have like by your sink or something. And it was like you were trapped in the soap bottle, and I thought that was really funny.
That's kind of cute.
I forgot about that for a really long time. I don't know where it came from, but my mom found it as of recently. I guess it surfaced up. It was one of those age-old crafts that surfaced up. And now it's magneted to the refrigerator at my house. So there's just a picture of 5th grade me missing a tooth with my big old smile, acting like I'm trapped in a soapbox just on the edge of the fridge. That's great. I look at it all the time and I'm like, wow, I look the exact same.
Well, you got all your.
I do
all
have.
your
I got all my pearly whites, and that makes me happy.
Well, there you go.
And a slightly different haircut, but
Probably not.
it's very slight. Mostly because I didn't comb my hair back then.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care. I had literally not a care in the world.
I just recently got a haircut because I go like 4-month spans without a haircut.
Yeah.
And it gets, at the beginning, I go, oh, well, I don't even have to comb my hair. Like today, woke up, yeah, it looks fine, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't have to comb my hair because it's short enough. But it gets, I have particularly curly hair. After a couple months, it gets to the point where the only thing I could do is wear hats.
Yeah.
Because like my sink is one of those weird bowl sinks that I can't put
You
my
can't
head
like stick your head under
the faucet, and I have to get it wet to comb it.
Have you ever like just like dump water on a comb or like cupped your hand?
It's not enough.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's not enough.
I'd say that it wasn't enough for me. It never worked for me either.
And I have significantly more hair per capita.
Yeah, because all of your curls pack it all into one spot. Mine's just all spaghetti stranded out.
But,
that's funny.
But yeah, so that's a mess every day. But it's given me a reason to start collecting hats. I have an issue with collecting things. I think
we've gone over your collections.
We've gone over the collections individually.
You have books. You've got your books. You've got games, game consoles.
Yeah.
You've got now hats. I'm curious. I didn't know about a hat collection.
So I have a collection of many things.
I have my collection of collections.
Once again, I apologize, audio listeners, but I will show you. These are some of the basic collections. This is my fiction book collection.
All right, that's a nice shelf. I do like, and the Jabba the Hutt mug.
Yes,
is brilliant. That's funny.
This is my history book collection.
Is that the Encyclopedia Britannica?
Actually, no. That is the Story of Civilization by Will Durant.
Interesting. I've
never
heard of that.
So it's the entire story
really cool.
of the world up until like the Napoleon era.
Like the Bill Wirtz video?
Yes. But imagine that expanded to 11 Bible-sized
volumes. Oh my gosh! Tell me you've read it. I said, tell me. You don't have to mean it.
I have read one book off the history shelf, and it's that little blue one right there.
Oh, what is it? I cannot read what that says at all.
It's the story of Chinese music.
Oh, cool. Of course, it's a music book.
Yeah, well, it's one that I bought specifically for a piece that I'm writing right now. That is a 200-year-old metronome.
Oh my gosh, I'm so mad. I saw one of those at the thrift store the other day here, and I was like, I want it really bad, but I don't want to spend money. Check the price tag, and it's $40, which isn't horrible.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what I was looking to spend.
This one, the book right next to it, this was actually, I just realized this now, The Age of Napoleon. That metronome is older than The Age of Napoleon.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool as a collector's piece. Where'd you get it?
My ex-girlfriend's mom got it for me for Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a gift. And little fella there.
And that's just a Civil War soldier. Or a Revolutionary War soldier, I suppose. That's an old camera I got at a yard sale.
That's so cool. It looks. I was like, is that a phonograph? I can't really tell.
You should come over to my house sometime.
I really should. There's so much cool stuff that you have that I feel like I'd really. That book looks photoshopped in because it's like neon yellow.
Weird. I just bought that one. That's the history of Japan. This is the historical anthology of music. That is, it's sheet music, but of the earliest known sheet music we have up until pretty late on.
That's really cool.
This is where do we have it? I have the entire history of Western music. All of Shakespeare's works right there.
Wow,
That's this is Norton Encyclopedia of Music. It's got a definition for every composer, every single dynamic marking, every single foreign word that is associated with music.
Chiaroscuro.
Maybe
it means light, dark in Italian. It means just bright.
It probably has that.
Bright. It probably does if it has everything about music.
Yeah, I've got some.
That's really cool. And R2-D2 guarding the shelf is a nice touch.
And then I've got a trumpet.
There's a trumpet.
But yeah, it's other than the Will Durant up here, it's mostly chronological.
Wow.
So it goes up history of the entire world, map by map, then world mythology. That's just a fake book. It's one of those books that you open up and it's a box.
Yeah, and you pull it as a lever and it's a room, a secret room.
That's a history of China because it's one of the oldest civilizations. Chinese music, music of the East, Far East, what is that? Music cultures of the Pacific, Near East, and Asia.
I'm astonished that you were able to read that.
Historical anthology of music, history of Japan, American Indian heritage, history of Western music, and it just kind of goes on from there.
Keeps going.
And
That's
then
so
it's right about there where These Truths by Jill Lepore. That's where American history starts. I've got the entire story of American history or American music
amazing.
right there, called "Music Melting Round." Secret of the Freemasons.
Wow, that's probably an interesting read.
I haven't read it yet.
I might recommend that.
I have a bad habit of collecting things and going through them very slowly.
Yeah, well, it's fair. I mean, it gives you entertainment for years to come.
Like I really enjoy reading, and these are just like, I'm going to read these eventually.
Yeah. If you're busy right now, who cares? We'll do it later.
Yeah, and it's like these books aren't going anywhere. I've got the Constitution and other important American documents. Then this is all just American history down here.
Wow.
We've got Revolutionary War, what is that? Uncle Tom's Cabin, Civil War Encyclopedia, History of Jazz, World War One,
History of Jazz, Civil War, History of Jazz, World War One.
And then we've got Functions of Harmony, because that guy lived around World War One era. Anne Frank's Diary,
That's
World
crazy.
War II. This is a atomic energy textbook from World War II era.
That's amazing. Like when it was first getting...
Like post-World War II era, right whenever...
That's astonishing.
Yeah, I found that at an antique store.
That's a really good find.
Korean War book, Nostradamus, History of the Vietnam War, Instrument Repair, Band Guide for Band Directors, 20th Century Harmony, and The War in Iraq.
That's quite a collection.
Yeah, and that's just my history collection. Like,
that's amazing.
Oh, man.
I can't wait till I live on my own and have collective shelves like these. I love collection shelves and I love organizing.
I basically live on my own because I live in the basement.
Yeah,
and I've just taken over the basement. Like
I share a room with my brother.
Yeah, I've got this area where it's like the basement. My cat lives there. I've got a TV. I've got a piano, and I've got like these bookshelves and stuff. Anyway, so we should probably put this to an end. Because
we'll table this for now. Yeah. But we can talk about this personally for sure. Yeah. But I think the collection of the first bit.
The video games.
That is a really, really nice looking shelf.
Those are my DS games. Those are all the Pokemon games. I believe I mentioned those before last time.
Yeah, we brought that up on the last episode.
These are my Amiibos.
Yay! Amiibo! Link looks so brainless. It's the Link's Awakening Link. Yeah. He just looks brainless.
And basically I tried to put every video game thing I had on here. There's some Pac-Man mugs there. That's my 3DS case.
Nice.
That's the one I was talking about.
I have a Pac-Man mug. I like it a lot.
I've got my N64 games there. I've got a Doctor Who TARDIS that's full of money.
That is full of money.
It's a piggy bank. I've got the Minecraft handbooks.
Yeah, my brother got the Redstone one the building one a while ago.
Oh, and then I just bought this the other day.
Ooh, more collection.
Yes. Star Wars Heir to the Empire trilogy.
Wow.
I found that at the book rack yesterday.
Things just come to you, I guess. That's crazy.
No, I just seek them out.
I guess that is fair.
It's good, like I see, Star Wars books? These are the books that I want from Star Wars. And these are the Indiana Jones books. I have had this on my Amazon list for so long.
Wow.
It's Indiana Jones and the Genesis Deluge.
Please tell me that art is not based off of, oh my gosh, what's his name? Who played him?
Harrison Ford.
It doesn't look like it is, but it looks as if it could be.
Definitely Harrison Ford.
Oh, no.
Why does it not look like Harrison Ford?
It does and it doesn't. It's like it's falling into Uncanny Valley territory.
Really? I didn't get that vibe from it.
That's crazy. Like, interesting. It feels like unless they described him like they cast Harrison Ford perfectly for Indiana Jones. I don't know. I feel like one being based off of the other is interesting.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, you know how sometimes they'll be like, the book now a major motion picture, and the cover for the book will be literally just the thumbnail for the movie.
Yeah, the movies came first.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, these are like extended universe. Like they went back and like wrote before then.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that.
One book that I'm very excited to read at some point is the Jurassic Park books. Like, because that was based on a book. However, the book is completely different than the movie. They changed so much.
As is per the usual.
Yeah, but it's like completely different.
That's really... You'll have to keep me updated on that.
I'm so excited to read it because Jurassic Park is my all-time favorite movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed that.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have guessed something like Star Wars.
No. It's probably... episode 5 is probably top 5 somewhere.
That's fair.
Okay, top 5 movies.
Top 5 movies. Here we go.
First.
All right, let's see. We got I know my top 3 at least. Okay. I don't know about 5, but top 3 in no particular order is The Upside. Have you ever seen The Upside? With Kevin Hart?
Yes.
Very.
Is that the one with the? Have we talked about this before?
We have talked about it because I recommended it to you, but it is.
I don't think we talked about it on the podcast.
Maybe not. But yeah, The Upside with Kevin Hart and somebody I forgot his name about the quadriplegic.
Yeah.
But very good movie.
Yeah,
Watch it.
I enjoy it.
Top 3. Number 2, or I guess not number. Whatever. Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, that's
Princess
a good
and the
one.
Frog
That's
is
a good one.
one of my favorite movies, especially now that I have like a way deeper appreciation for the soundtrack.
Yeah, I've been meaning for a long time to go through and watch all of Disney's animated catalog.
Fantastic.
Like,
era.
I just want to do it. Like, and the same with Pixar. Like, it's the same thing. It's the same obsession I have with books. I want to experience all
of them.
all of life, all that life can give me.
Yeah.
Because I want to experience all the classics. If I die before I get to read all the classic books, I'm going to be really sad. If I die before I get to watch all the classic movies, and I don't know, I'm weirdly paranoid that I'm not going to get to do this.
You've got a lot of time. I'd be wary.
And that's why I keep collecting all these things.
Yeah.
That's why I collect so many DVDs, is because like I'm not going to get to watch. If I don't have it, then I'll forget about it and I won't watch it.
No.
And it's a weird obsession that I have.
That's
I also
perfectly
have
fair.
a weird, I don't know, fear of lost media.
Yeah,
Like, whenever
I know
media's-
you've brought that up, where it's like what happens if YouTube goes down?
Yeah, it's
right?
like all of it's gone.
All of it's gone.
It's weird now because now that we're such good friends,
Uh-huh.
I don't know what we've talked about in person, what we've talked
And
about
what we talked about on the podcast.
Because we talk more on the podcast than we do in person.
Yeah, and that's just because time constraints, TBH.
Yeah.
But it's good that we get to have this time and sit down.
Yeah.
But yeah. Final movie, Forrest Gump. It's up there, top 3. It's one of 2 movies that's ever made me cry.
Yeah. That's a good movie.
And I can't remember the name of the
We've
other
definitely done this list before because I remember all 3 of those.
one. But what was... I don't know if we asked yours.
We might not have.
We might not have. Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park is number 1, for sure.
I'll try and think of another 2 in my top 5 while you're going on this. Because
Yeah.
you said top 5 and I said 3.
Oh, gosh. I'd say Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark is number 2.
That's a good movie.
I rather enjoy my Indiana Jones.
I'm trying to think because I know there's movies I've enjoyed, but I don't want to say something like... There was a Tom and Jerry movie where they raced across the continent of Australia.
Yeah.
Were you...
Yes, I've seen
You know that?
Yes.
And Tom saws the continent in half for some reason.
I want to watch it now.
I do. I haven't watched it in so long.
Do you ever get that feeling? It's like, I want to watch that cartoon again, but I don't remember what the cartoon's called.
Yeah.
And it's like, it drives me crazy.
Ugh.
It's a part of the lost media thing.
It is.
But it's lost media of
in my
mind.
brain.
But it's like, that's why I have to collect these things, because I'll forget about them.
Exactly. And
It's
if they're there
and that's
in
why I
person,
have to-
physically.
That's why I have to buy them. It's because, like, whenever I remember, that animated movie I want, I buy it immediately, because it's like, I'm not going to remember this again, and I have to have it.
Yeah, I've started doing that, not buying it, but like actually keeping lists of things, because I get so frustrated. Oh boy, howdy, you've got a list of things ever, do you?
Oh boy, I got a list.
Because I know I keep forgetting things. I'm so bad with it, and I'm like, I'll write this down later, and then I forget it later, and I'm like, why didn't I write it down?
Now, this is just my listen to later for Spotify.
Oh my gosh, that took 2 scrolls. Holy cow.
These are the books that I want. Not really. Most of these are bought now.
Just lists that remain lists.
These are the movies that I want to watch.
Wow, that is... So you have them categorized into subcategories in the list.
I have a problem. I have a problem.
It's a really good problem to have, being too organized. And...
I don't want to be a type A person. I don't feel like type A is the type of person that I am. But at the same time, I am a type A. I don't.
You could
know how
have
to
type
explain
A
it.
traits and not be a type A person. What's
Yeah.
it? The Myers-Briggs test or something like that? I feel like that's more
Maybe.
specific than type A, type B, type C, type D.
I don't really know.
Yeah. But I tried to figure out what type of personality I was by like the type A, B, C, D. Couldn't figure it out for the
Yeah.
life of me. None of them fit.
I don't know. Like, because 2 years ago, you would have said for sure I'm a type B person. Because always put things off, super bad procrastinator, and all that stuff. But now I think I'm scheduled out of necessity.
Yeah, especially in this where everything's happening at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, and I think I've just learned to do that, but I still procrastinate every assignment. So I guess in a way I'm still a type B person, masquerading as a type A person.
It's a goal. It's what's it? Imposter syndroming as a type A as a type A person.
Yeah.
When deep down you know you're type B, but I strive to have this organization. That's so fair. I know I need that organization in my life, but I'm so type B. It's just
I'm a section leader in both marching band and wind symphony. For the audience to know, you already know that.
I'm a section leader too.
I went through, and for the people in wind symphony, I was like, I'm making your schedule.
Yeah, it's like you will be here. This is happening.
I'm making it. Because I don't know, I really enjoy making schedules and categorizing things. Like you saw my stupid bookshelf.
Yeah,
the history bookshelf is all chronological.
It's in chronological order.
I spent so much time. Well, I actually didn't. I weirdly knew it off the top of my head. And it's like, oh, this goes here, this goes here,
like a puzzle piece.
Yeah,
that's so fair.
But for the fiction books, you probably didn't notice this, but they're all alphabetical order.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, starts off with The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn right there.
Oh my gosh.
And then There Were None, Animal Farm. That's a first edition of Animal Farm.
Wow, that's a really cool...
Do you know what Animal Farm is?
I do. Yeah. I do know what Animal Farm is. My dad...
That's Johnny... what's his name?
Appleseed?
No. It's a Lego series.
Oh my gosh.
I want to say Johnny Test. It's not Johnny Test.
It's not.
Johnny Thunder.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's 2 Lego Adventures sets.
Huh.
But I went out of my way to buy them just for this bookshelf because I was like, I want that.
That's really
want that
cool.
hot air balloon. Then we go Batman, The Book Thief, Monte Cristo, all the way down to Wuthering Heights, right down there.
That's really, really cool.
I have a problem.
That must have taken a minute. I see the Peanuts collection that you brought up a few episodes ago.
Oh, yeah, there's the Peanuts collection. There's The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck.
Wow. That's really cool.
The Complete Sherlock Holmes. You need to come over to my house.
I do. We need to find a weekend.
In my house.
That'd be it. You have a piano there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Probably have like 4.
Literally 2 feet.
Oh my! In the picture.
There's a keyboard right there.
That's so funny.
I can't wait till we get to the point in the podcast where people are commenting words of the day, and we could just go on here. Let's see what the word of the day is, and we just boop 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 on the computer, and it's just like, oh, our word of the day is crandall.
Crandall.
I don't know. I don't think that's a word.
It's probably not, but it reminded me of the word frindle, which is also not a word. But there's a book called Frindle about a guy who decides to start calling the pen a frindle. For no reason. He just decides to do it.
Okay.
It's an actual book. It's a kid's book. It's like a picture book and stuff like that. And he decides to start calling it a frindle. And his teacher's like, no, you can't do that. He's like, rah. She's like, no, rah, you can't do that. And for some reason, the word frindle makes this kid like a millionaire. And he
repatents the pen.
Exactly. I don't know what happens. I'm sure he marketed himself some way. But the word frindle gets put in the dictionary, and when it does, he cuts like $100,000 check and sends it to the teacher who said he couldn't do it. And it's like if forgiveness or whatever. It's like follow your dreams. But that is a book that lives in the back of my head. I read it one time. I never forgot it, and I've never seen it anywhere else.
Yeah.
I have no mention of it in my old brain space. But
do you ever get like? This is going back to the lost media in your own head.
Yeah.
You ever get that, like, just 3 frames of, like, something that you remember? I get this all the time with music, and it's like, what the heck is that song?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll get it with a melody. And
that happened the other day. I was at church. There was a song that we were singing that was set to Jupiter from the planets.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love this so much. I've heard this constantly. What is it? I cannot remember.
Yep.
And I was struggling so hard because and then exactly what you said. 3 frames of it's like, it's gonna be Jupiter. And I was like, what? Huh? I couldn't hear myself.
I get that all the time, like with TV shows or something, and it's like, oh, I want to watch that again, but how am I gonna remember what it is?
Yeah.
And it's the human brain is so frustrating.
It is.
The other day I had like a weird freak out moment about how like mortal people are.
Yeah. I get that.
Do you ever get that all the time?
I do. I have my moments of existential dread where I'll be sitting in my bed and be like, wow, I'm gonna die one day.
Yeah, I'll get that, and I'm like, there could be something wrong with me right now, and I wouldn't know till it kills me or till I go to the doctor. Yeah. And I haven't been to the doctor in 4 years, so only one of those is gonna happen.
Until it kills me.
And then eventually my weird train of thought goes to, I'm dying right now. Looking up symptoms of whatever thing I've made up in my mind.
I did some self-diagnosing on WebMD. It turns out I've been dead since 2009.
I just looked up my symptoms. I have network connectivity errors. It's my favorite joke from Parks and Rec.
That's a really good one. I have network connectivity errors. It's breaking down, crying. It's like, no, I don't think you understand. A really weird, specific case where that happens to me is marching band. It happens in, like, I get it in marching band because I have these, like, sort of third-person moments where I'm, like, looking at myself doing this, and I'm like, I'm so happy to be here. I never thought I'd be here. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but I'm only going to get this once. Like, this is the only time I get it. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to think about this one day. Wait, hang on. What about when I can't think about this? I can't imagine not being able to think. And it's like, what am I doing?
I had a weird moment the other day where, like, I started off here thinking, holy crap, another 4 years. I do not want to be... And even after the first 2 semesters, I was like, can't wait for this to be done and for me to be out in the real world. Mm-hmm. And now this semester, I'm like, and we're only sophomores, by the way.
Yeah, we're not very far into this.
And it's like, I don't want to graduate. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to leave this place because once I leave, I'm going to be...
like, actually out in the real...
It's like, ugh.
I think the thing with me, I've been very careful about wishing my time away as of recently, where it's like, I just wish it was the weekend. I wish this rehearsal was over. Mm-hmm. And I've been getting a lot better at, like, at relishing what I have now because this is the only time I get it. Even if I'm at this rehearsal, rehearsing the same song for 1,000 more rehearsals, like, it's going to be done one day and I won't get it and I'll wish for it back.
Yeah.
So it's
and like... It's definitely a thought.
Yeah.
But you know what you will be able to listen to over and over again?
What perhaps will I be able to listen to over and over again, Keaton?
The Word of the Day Toilet Paper Podcast.
God bless! I'm so happy about that. I
feel like I interrupted a really good thought just for that
no, it was a good
plug.
It was a good plug. And I think it's something to be said that, like, this is something, like, this is a moment in time encapsulated forever.
That's true. We're always going to have these conversations.
Always. And it's like, and this isn't production value. This isn't like scripted. This isn't a project. This is literally just us talking at 9:30, 9 o'clock on Wednesday nights, just because we can and we want to. And it's like, I think this is as real as it gets.
Yeah.
And I think
there's no, well, I almost said no showmanship. There really is no showmanship.
There's not.
But there's no movie magic being happened.
Yeah.
Happened here.
It's raw. The only movie magic is cutting out stupid water breaks that go horribly wrong. But
it's because you made a weird face.
I did.
Do that face again.
I was just like looking at you. Sorry, audio listeners, you'll never know what face I made.
I'll put a picture of it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll.
I'm not.
We won't be able to. I don't even know what face I made.
I'd have to, like, tackle you and, like, do the face,
do the face
again.
There's a camera like 3 inches from my face, and I'm just bawling my eyes.
No, I don't want to do the face.
Please let me go.
I'm never going to do it. No.
Oh man, beautiful. Well, thank you for tuning into today's episode of Word of the Day Toilet Paper. Just these conversations, this real time that we get together, that all of us here get together, even though you're just listening to us, but you've got a community. People who like listening to these ramblings, these lamentings of things, talking about collections or arts and crafts and elements of our past. Like this will someday be. And we'll get to come back and listen to it. Like you're listening to it now. And for that, we greatly appreciate you. Keep on coming back as we whittle through this roll of toilet paper, taking off words and making them what we think they are. Thank you. Have a good night.